Hello, Kenny. It's Claire. Kenny, I was assigned a research project for my Newfoundland history class with an option of a paper or multimedia. So, in lieu of a boring paper, I get to do a boring vlog, which is currently being graded. The research project is supposed to be on Newfoundland cultural heritage, so I decided to do mine on the oil industry, because it's why I live here. So Kenny, in 2004, you and I found ourselves moving from Alberta to a strange, desolate island known as Newfoundland. By process of elimination, I learned that we didn't move here for the weather. Maybe the fishery? Ha, no. It was for the same reason that we were forced to live in all those other countries. Now, Kenny, how about you take a break from law school and learn about the history of oil exploration in Newfoundland? Oil exploration in Newfoundland has been around since the 1960s, but it wasn't until 1979 that a certain oil company discovered the Hibernia oil field. Hey, Kenny, can you guess which oil company that is? In 1990, the Hibernia platform began construction, and in 1997, Hibernia produced its first barrel of oil. Woo, go Hibernia!
Jump cut. I've got a microphone now. Can you tell it takes me more than a day to make a video? Anyways, Kenny, the oil industry in Newfoundland has done pretty well since Hibernia, but the industry has seen its share of accidents. In 1982, the Ocean Ranger sank off the coast of Newfoundland, killing 84 people. In 2009, the Cougar helicopter flight 91 crashed into the ocean, killing 17 people. Kenny, these were terrible tragedies and caused some Newfoundlanders to be distrustful of oil companies. What we need to remember, though, is that accidents, although preventable, do happen, and we learn from them and work to make things safer. Despite the impact of these tragedies, Newfoundland has moved on to become the successful and safer oil province it is today. Hey Kenny, did you manage to guess the oil company that discovered Hibernia yet? Chevron!
Now, as you can tell, I'm not the most eloquent and informed person when it comes to vlogging about a subject that I personally find very boring. But you and I know somebody who is.
Hi, I'm here with Mark McLeod, Vice President of Atlantic Canada with Chevron, here to talk to us today about the oil industry in Newfoundland.
Good evening, Claire.
Good evening. Why is more exploration important?
So in Newfoundland, in the offshore, we have 3 producing fields. That's Hibernia, Terra Nova, and White Rose. And soon, in about 4 years, there'll be the 4th project called Hebron that'll start producing oil. But eventually those fields decline, production declines. And so we need to keep and continue the amount of production that we have in the offshore. And the only way to do that is to go out and find new fields. And that's what we do when we explore for oil and gas.
On the offshore, what is the level of safety?
In our industry, we take safety very, very seriously, and we work very hard to minimize and mitigate the risks that are inherent in our business. And in fact, we're very proud of our safety record in the offshore. Working in the offshore, believe it or not, is as safe as it would be working in a local retail store, say at Walmart. We can always do better in our industry, but indeed, it is a very safe industry.
So, how would a Newfoundlander in, say, Corner Brook benefit from the oil and gas industry?
When we produce oil, we pay royalties to government, royalties and taxes. And it's up to the government to decide what to do with that income. In 2011, I believe the royalty income to the province from the offshore industry was $2.1 billion. That's on an overall budget of about $6 billion. So it's providing about 30% of the income to the government. Government can decide what they want to do with it, where they want to spend it. So indeed, we've seen announcements of a new hospital in the Corner Brook area, improvements to the Grenfell campus of Memorial University. That is coming from government funding sources and indeed indirectly from the offshore industry.
In the event of an oil spill, what is the company's first course of action?
Of course, we do everything we can to prevent any kind of release to the environment. In the event of a spill, we would first have to ascertain how big a spill is it. Is it a liter of oil? Is it a gallon of oil? Or is it much larger than that? We're in the North Atlantic, a relatively small volume of oil. It just simply wouldn't be practical to try to recover that. A larger volume of oil, we have equipment on site that we could deploy to collect the oil and keep it from spreading further. If it's a larger spill, we'd have to use equipment that we have on the beach. And an even larger spill, we'd have to bring in our worldwide emergency response teams with their equipment to deal with the spill. But again, we'd have to assess the weather, the sea states, to decide whether it made any sense to deploy that equipment.
Do you think the oil will ever run out, and what will happen to Newfoundland's industry as a result?
Oil anywhere around the world is indeed a finite resource. Hibernia field will eventually be moved to the abandonment phase, where we cannot produce any more oil from that field economically. So all fields eventually are abandoned. And hopefully, and there have been some success of late, that we will find new fields, but eventually, in a long way down the road, 15, 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 years down the road, we will see the end of the oil industry in Newfoundland. I can't see it today. I see sustained production from Hibernia, Terra Nova, White Rose, and Hebron. I think it's safe to say we'll be around at least that long.
All right. Thank you, and thank you for being here with me tonight.
It's been a pleasure.
Well, that was very interesting. Kenny, if there's one thing that you and I can be grateful to the oil industry for, is for its giving us the opportunity to live here. It reminds me of a book that I once looked at. The prevailing attitude is still that the visitors should take us as they find us, which means that you and I got the full experience of the Newfoundland culture, and hopefully we'll be a part of it soon, if the Canadian government doesn't reject our applications again. Kenny, I hope you're having a time studying in Sydney, and I'll see you on someday.